We are good. Hey everybody, I'm Matthew Cook, and this is episode 98 of the Tactical Dad podcast. I'm pretty sure I got that right.
I believe so.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking expert tips for controlling the arc of movement with your firearm with expert in the room, Tim Owens from OSS Tactical. Thanks for joining me, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get into it.
So, minimum arc of movement. When I teach my basic pistol class, I always I list minimum arc of movement at the end of the fundamentals, 7 fundamentals of marksmanship. Minimum arc of movement is not a fundamental, but it is important that people understand what it is. So, in previous podcasts and classes, I've talked about the key to shoot, or the secret to shooting, which is pressing the trigger in a manner that does not misalign your sights. So in a perfect world, you'd be able to hold your firearm perfectly still and press your trigger smoothly without causing any movement whatsoever, and then you would have a perfect bullet strike, exactly where you were aiming. It's physically impossible for a human being to hold anything perfectly still because we have a pulse. We have fast twitch muscles. So there is a little bit of movement that we all have whenever we're holding something, okay? Now, pistols, unlike rifles, pistols magnify mistakes much more so than rifles do. I've always used the analogy when I teach class that when you are holding a pistol out in front of you, you're not moving more than a 1/4 inch up and down, left or right. So you're having a 1/4 inch movement up and down, left and right. Now that, maybe a little bit exaggerated, but you shouldn't have more than that. When you get a proper sight picture at a close distance at 3 yards, your front sights on the firearms are really small. And if you're using a human-sized target, that little front sight on that human-sized target at 3 yards doesn't look like it's moving very much. So it doesn't bother you visually, and it allows you to smoothly press the trigger and have a good trigger press and a good shot placement. But when you go back to distance, let's go say 15, 18 yards. Well, visually what your eyes are telling you is that when you're looking at your sight picture, your target is smaller and your front sight is larger, and your movement seems to be moving. It looks visually like you might have 3 inches of movement left, right, up, and down, maybe more. That's what your eyes are telling you.
It's like exponentially grows as the distance gets further away.
Well, when people see where it looks like their sight's moving so much, it bothers them, and it doesn't allow them. They let their brain get in the way of their muscle movement. Muscle movement being the trigger control. And so a lot of people will try to time their shot. I've heard other instructors say that you have like a figure 8 movement in there, right? And then some people will try to time it when it comes back into that center. And when you try to time a shot like that, you always are going to get very quick on that trigger or jerk the trigger, and you're not going to have a good shot placement. So minimum arc of movement is nothing more than telling yourself, you have to lie to yourself basically and say, I don't care how much it looks like it's moving. In reality, even though if it looks like it's moving 5 inches up and down, left and right, who cares? Reality is you're only moving just a little bit. So you have to overcome that and just simply press the trigger. You have to trust your trigger finger to do its job. Smoothly press the trigger.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that it bothers people.
It's good to, I guess, just to understand it, like conceptually, because I'm going to bring a golf analogy because I always will. In golf, so people want consistency, right? They want to hit it straighter. They want more. They're the 2 biggest things that people ask for in golf. And so, but then there's also this expectation, the psychological desire to achieve a certain result, and this is like a preconceived idea based on this person's knowledge, or not knowledge, this person's experience watching golfers. And people watch the pros, right? The 1% of the 1 freaking percent. So what you see those people do on TV, and let's face it, you're seeing the best shots. The Golf Channel isn't going to show you that Bill Haas just topped it.
Right.
No one's going to show you that.
We all want to see it, though.
Right. We all want to see it. We all should see it. But if Tiger Woods has put one to, Rory McIlroy's bombed a 330-yard drive, and Justin Thomas has topped it, they're probably going to show you Rory's drive than Justin Thomas's top. So we're like, people see this such great shots, and they understand it, but then they think that they hold this higher expectation for their shot. So I always ask this question. So if you've got a 150-yard golf shot, how close do you expect to hit it? All conditions are perfect. You are here, target's 150 yards away. What do you expect to put that golf ball?
Personally, I like to get it within 15 feet.
Okay, so this is going to be great, by the way. I'm going to teach Tim something on golf here. The number 1 player on the planet right now in golf, the best person on the planet from 150 yards, has an average proximity of 21 feet. Wow. 6 feet further away than what you're expecting of yourself.
Perfect.
Right? So straight away this expectation comes because 1 degree, if that club face is 1 degree open, just one, which we can't tell. By looking, we can't tell. Right. Like looking down the barrel of a gun.
Right.
The slight movements, like, it's got to be quite a movement for us to notice, I imagine, especially but the actual movement, like you said, it's not that much. You got to try and overcome that. But that 1 degree club face that's open over 150 yards is about a 13 to 17 yard miss, approximately, right or left. That's 1 degree. That's something that you can't notice to a green that's, I don't know, 50 feet in proximity. So a pro's going to hit. So you just see where this is going, right? Yeah. So I think like that, and then 200 yards, 1 degree is like 21 to 25 feet miss. So like the further it is, the bigger the dispersion. It goes hand in hand with what you just said.
It's great to have those kind of expectations, but also we all have to remember to make our expectations realistic for our ability.
Yeah.
So that is a great point. So
interesting, right? It's like I would say if I'm and you correct me if I'm wrong because I'm getting into your expertise now. If I'm 25 yards away, and I'm using a
feet.
So if I have a pistol, if I just hit the body, that's a pretty damn good shot, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna struggle to really get it in that 9 or 10, right? Vital. If I do, that's a great shot.
25 yard shot, standing offhand with no bracing or anything else like that. Just hitting your target is a
decent
good thing. So your skill. I mean, you're good enough to keep it in that 8 ring that we use on the targets now. But no, 25 yards, that's 75 feet.
That's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
You'd probably be like, don't grab your pistol, get your rifle at that point.
I've seen police officers that have been on police departments more than 7 years miss a target from 3 yards.
Oh, jeez. But I guess when you're in if you're in a fight, if you're in a gunfight, I could see how the stress level, because.
No. This is on a cold range.
I just
put the cloth on the guy.
Oh, jeez.
I just put a cloth on him.
He might not be cut out for that then.
No.
He might not. I get if you're in a real gunfight, the stress level, but I think the anxiety. Because I've been in a tournament and gone through 9 holes, and I see my name on the leaderboard, someone holding the leaderboard, and I look up and I see Matthew Cook first.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm 3 under through 9. I'm leading the event right now. holy shit.
Exactly.
And then I've gone, but get this, this is, I don't mind saying this now, I have the humility to do this, but then my scores on 10, 11, 12 was 13, 13, 14. I scored a 13, 13, 14. I was like, have I ever played this freaking game?
Yeah, psychotic golf. I went out the other day and shot 35 on one side, 44 on the other. You know, so yeah, no, but you know, going back to the shooting thing, people just need to understand. Just accept the fact that you're going to have some movement in there, and just simply smoothly press your trigger, and your shots are going to be good. Because again, the secret to shooting, I can't say this enough, pressing the trigger in a manner without disturbing your sights.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I'm going to tie this to the course that you just did, because anyone watching or listening, go and check out the online course, because what we're talking about right now, what can really help mitigate that, and you chip in here if you think I'm missing anything, but what can really help that is the breathing aspect, which you talk about in the course. The breathing is like essential to more accurate, precise shots, whether you're a golfer watching this or whether you're a shooter. Yeah. So I think this, I mean, go and buy the course and check out, if anything, just that section on breathing. Like it'll be worth it. It'll be worth your while. Cool. All right, that's it. We'll finish at 11 minutes because we don't want to get too long. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us. Hope you got some value out of it. I'll see you again next time.